What is a power? So when we're talking about power, we have a base. That's the big number. That's the one that's going to be repeated multiple times. And we also have an exponent. That is the exponent. When we have a base and an exponent, that together it's called a power. So let's start. When they're asking for the standard form, they're asking for the answer. So if we write 5 to the power of 6 in a repeated multiplication, we would have the base multiplied by itself 6 times. And when we do it on our calculator, we have to do, it's not 5 times 6, it's 5 to the power of 6. And the answer would be 15,625. Over here, it's asking us to write as a power. So the base is 3, because that's the number that's being repeated. So the base is 3, and the number is written 6 times. So the exponent would be 6. Over here, we have 7 only once. So the base is 7, and the exponent would be 1, because it's only written there once. Next example, write as a repeated multiplication and in standard form. So 3 to the power of 5, my base is 5, and I would have to write it 5 times. And it is a repeated multiplication. And in my calculator, I would write 3 to the power of 5, and the standard form, the answer would be 243. 7 to the power of 4, it means the base is 7, so we write it 4 times because that's our exponent. And in our calculator, we would write 7 to the power of 4, and the answer would be 2,401. When we have negatives, now, we have to be careful what the exponent is touching. So in this case, the exponent is 4, and it's touching my bracket. So when I write it in a repeated multiplication, I would have to write the entire bracket. Now we know that a negative multiplied by a negative gives us a positive multiplied by a negative gives us a negative, and a negative multiplied by a negative will give us a positive. So negative 3 to the power of 4 would give us positive 81. For the next example, my exponent is only touching 3. My base would only be the 3. So I know that my answer would be negative 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. I only have one negative, so my answer would be negative 81. Last example. I have a negative, a bracket, negative 3, exponent 4, close the bracket. So my exponent is in my bracket, and it's only touching my 3. So 3 would be my base. So when I write this, I would have to write negative, my bracket, negative 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now we've seen that 3 to the power of 4 gives us 81, but I have my negative, so it would be negative 81 in the bracket, and I still have a negative in front of the bracket. When I have a negative in front of the bracket, it's like an imaginary negative 1, and we would multiply. Negative 1 times negative 81 would give us positive 81.